Exactly.
You two where?
The footbridge.
First the lumberyard and now the footbridge, and where will we meet after that? In the Black Hole, Calcutta? Egad, Stormy, it's Papa.
Didn't I say get the spellbinder Harold Hill's credentials? I said it. Morning of July 4th. Yes, George. But and now the whole town's turned upside down. The school board singing up and down the alleyway, not tending to city matters.
Mayor Shin, I found something very interesting in this book about Professor Hill's alma mater.
His who?
His university.
I know all about that. In fact, it's the only thing I can ever get out of him. Gary Conservatory, class of Hawk 5.
If you'll just take time to read this book about the conservatory, you won't have to look any further. It's on page...
Papa, the Wells Fargo wagon's coming up the depot. The Wells Fargo wagon at this hour of the day?
It could be the band instrument.
The band instrument? I want that man's credentials.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is up, coming down my street. Oh, please let it be for me. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is up, coming down the street. I wish I knew what it would be.
Book in due course. Meanwhile, stay off the streets, get acquainted with your instrument, and think about the minuet in G. La di 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 da da da.
La di 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 da da da.
La di 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 da da da.
La di 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 da da da.
Sister, I never thought a candy cane those drumsticks had this scrumptious solid gold thing. Oh, sister.
Round one for you, Mr. Hill. But I better hear some by-gad tooting out of them horns in pretty short order, or I'll see you in front of the grand jury. Now, Miss Marion, about that book. Come, George. 1 second, I have to get something from the librarian. About the book.
I've never seen Winthrop so happy. Thank you, Professor Hill.
My pleasure, Miss Theroux.
So, Mr. Washburn, wait till you see the
New step, Professor Hill taught us.
All right, what'll it be?
Bishop Hoopy!
Now won't go kiss on the very first date is usually a hot. And it won't go kiss on the second time out is anything but. And it won't go wait the third time out. Head in the clouds, feet on the ground. The girl is bloody now, she can shipoo, 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 shipoo. The girl is hard to get. Shipoo, shipoo, shipoo.
Your Honor, your daughter and I are going steady behind your back. We'd rather do it in front of your back, but...
I'll warn you once more. Now, George. Not one more poop out of you, madam.
I think he means peep.
You know what I see written all over you? Reform school. Now get out. Get out, you wild kid, you.
Papa, please. Cowards like you make blood in the marketplace. Egat.
You watch your phraseology, young one. Go home.
Mr. Mayor, I want you to know that I'm vouching for Tommy and Gillis. That boy's got the confidence of every kid in town. You'll be waiting to shake his hand by the time our band plays its first concert.
By the time your band plays its first concert, the members will have foregathered in wheelchairs, account to broken legs, due to tripping over their beards. Now let me tell you something, my fine young feathered. My feathered young, never mind. Oliver, JC, Ewart, Owen. I want this man's references, and I want him tonight. Don't let him out of your sight. He'd slip you in than a Mississippi sturgeon.
Professor Hill, I think Mayor Shin has behaved abominably, and I think it was wonderful of you coming to Tommy's defense.
A man can't dodge an issue every time a little personal risk is involved. What does the poet say? The coward dies 1,000 times, but the brave only 500.
I just wish I was a little more informed. I've been wanting to talk to you about Winthrop's cornet.
His cornet, mother of pearl keys.
I'm sure it's fine. He tells me about some think system. If he thinks the minuet in G, he won't have to bother with the notes. Now, Professor...
Miss Mary, the think system is a revolutionary method, I'll admit. However, I cannot discuss these things in public, but if you'll allow me... When may I call?
Why, any night this week.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, pick, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, pick, pick, pick.
Miss Cruz, please join our Bell Party committee. We're still here tonight dancing the shakubi with Professor Hill.
You dance like a fairy princess with a mitten for your flower. You have golden shimmer in your hair and silver sheets for all to see. We know that you will soon unfold a forgiving heart and pure soul, dear, where a woman's heart should be.
Princess, looking for golden shimmer, silver shoes. Now unfold, heart of gold. Here, where a woman's heart should be. The professor told us to read these books, and we simply adored them all.
Chaucer,
Bradley's, Balzac,
Mama,
Winthrop, where have you been?
fishing with Harold. He told me all about his hometown, Gary, Indiana, and he said he'd take me there someday. And he taught me a song that hardly had any S's in it. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, let me say it once again. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, that's the town that knew me when. If you'd like to have a logical explanation, how what happened on the delicate information, I would say without a word. da-da.
Leave the dishes, Mama. I'll do them.
You the piano teacher in town?
Why, yes.
You must know about this fellow Hill. We're with a boys band here.
Yes.
Well, don't let it worry you no more. I got the goods on him in spades. Swindling, two-bit, thimble rigger. I'm just passing through. No worry, only makes a 15-minute water stop.
Who are you?
Name's Charlie Cowell, Anvil salesman. But right now, I'm trying to protect the good name of the traveling fraternity from this swindler.
Mr. Cowell, you're making a big mistake.
Mistake my old lady's corset cover. That fellow's been the raspberry seed of my wisdom tooth just long enough. He's spoiled Illinois for me, and he's not gonna spoil Iowa. Say, what kind of music teacher are you? You didn't see right through why he's no more professor?
I know all about that. Band directors are always called professor. It's a harmless deception. He's a fine director and his scholastic.
Fine director? Have you heard one note of music from any band?
No, but
Nothing, girly girl. He's never formed a band in his life and he never will.
Never make that train to the depot. You'll have to catch it at the crossing.
No, sir. I've got to leave word. I can see you ain't the one to leave it with.
I've never met a man who sells anvils before. That's something, well, quite different.
Takes a real salesman, I can tell you that. Anvils have a limited appeal, you know. Wait, what am I doing? I'll miss that train, I'll get fired. I have to leave word about Hill.
Leave word with me.
Not on your tin type. How do I know you deliver the message?
Try me. There's your train now. Run for it.
Why, you double dealing little? Who do you think you're protecting? That guy's gotta go in every county in Illinois. That's 102 counties. Not counting the piano teacher like you, because they could just keep their mouths shut. Either one of you said the last to me, girly girl.
Marion, who was you talking to just? Why, Professor Hill.
Evening, Mrs. Prue. Miss Marion.
You and Marion come up and set. I've got some jelly on the stove.
There's no jelly on the stove, Mama.
Well, I'll put some on.
Shall we set, as your mother said?
Well,
You did ask me to call.
Professor Hill, is it true that what I'm trying to say is, I must be very dull company for a man of your experience.
Now say, where'd you get an idea like that?
One hears rumors of traveling salesmen.
Now you mustn't believe everything you hear. After all, one even hears rumors about librarians.
I suppose you're referring to Uncle Matty.
Uncle Matty?
Mr. Madison, my father's best friend. No matter what they say, he left me that job at the library so that Mother Winthrop and I would have some security. Surely you don't believe.
Of course not. Now, why do you think people start those rumors?
Narrow-mindedness, jealousy. Jealousy mostly, I guess.
Exactly. And jealousy mostly starts rumors about traveling salesmen. Now, what have you heard?
Just that, but of course it stands to reason that disappointment and jealousy can lead to, take you for instance, and your attention to customers and, well, teachers might be misinterpreted, mightn't they? Now honestly, mightn't they?
What?
And if, say, another salesman or someone were jealous, well then they could be downright lies, couldn't they?
What could?
Rumors and things.
Why, of course.
It just proves you should never believe everything you hear. If you discuss things.
Miss Marion, I would be delighted to discuss anything in the world with you. But could we do it sitting down? You do sit, your knees bend and all.
We could sit on the porch steps.
We could sit over a large hollow over the footbridge.
I couldn't think of it. I've never been to the footbridge with a man in my life.
Just to talk. Meet me there in 15 minutes.
I just can't. Please, maybe some other time. Tomorrow.
My dear little librarian, pile up enough tomorrows and you'll find you've collected nothing but a bunch of empty yesterdays. I don't know about you, but I would like to make today worth remembering. The footbridge, 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Mama!
What?
I just told Professor Hill I'd meet him at the footbridge in 15 minutes.
Glory be and the saints be praised. It works.
What does?
I've been using the think system on you from the parlor. 1 Grecian urn. 2 Grecian urns. And a fountain. Stop! Listen to this man.
You gullible green grass goats! I'm talking about Harold Hill. Road agent, highwayman, pickpocket. Same thing. He's had it on your wallet, mister, and yours, madam, and yours, little lady, ever since he came to this town. Now there's more documented evidence than you'll ever have time to read. There isn't a band, there never has been a band, and there never will be a band. If you don't hunt this man down right now like a mad dog, there won't be any Harold Hill either. He'll be on the next train out of town.
Now you guys believe me?
Well, what are we waiting for? I want my money back.
Money back? I want his hide!
Then after him, and when you find him, bring him to the schoolhouse. After him!
All right, Mars, get the rig.
I got it.
What time's the freight go?
9:40 from the junction.
Well, it's not even 8:30 yet.
Look, you wanna turtle whirl around here and get yourself caught in a trap, you go ahead, but
I'll be at the hotel in plenty of time. Miss Marion, you're late.
But you said 15 minutes.
Well, I'd say you were about 26 years late. It took you all this time just to get to the footbridge with a fella.
If you want to know the truth, it was almost longer.
Oh?
Halfway here, I nearly turned back. I suppose I'm not the first to find it easier to think clearly, when not under the spell of your salesmanship.
Now, Miss Marion, surely you don't think I've been selling you anything?
No, you've given me something. That's why I decided to come.
I don't recall it being.
Yes, you have. Something beautiful.
Marion,
There were bells on the hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all, till there was you. There were birds in the sky.
me. I'm expecting a line from Hector Berlioz. This could be it.
What? Who's the salesman here? Looks like she's selling it, you're buying.
I had to keep her off balance, didn't I?
She sold for off balance, you couldn't tell her. Got boat in a hurricane.
Get the ring. Now then, where were we?
You're about to tell me what I don't know about you.
Yeah, well, we don't really have to go into that right now, do we?
No, or ever for that matter, Harold. The librarian hasn't felt like doing much research lately, but she did plenty when you first came here.
Oh, about what?
About Professor Harold Hill, Gary Conservatory, gold medal class of Ot 5. Harold, there wasn't any Gary Conservatory in Ot 5.
Why, there certainly
Because the town wasn't even built till Ot 6. I'll see you at the sociable.
You knew all this time?
Since July 7th, 3 days after you came here.
Why, you...
Greg! He's not anywhere around here. Let's try down by the creek.
Winthrop!
Hey, wait a minute here, son.
I'm not your son. Let me go.
Not till I talk to you for a minute.
I won't listen. You won't tell the truth anyway.
Would do.
Would not.
Would do. Tell you anything you want to know.
Can you lead a band?
Yes. But, no.
Are you a big liar?
Okay. Funny story about that, actually, kid. Yes.
Are you a dirty, rotten crook?
No. But, yes.
Let me go, you big liar.
What? You wanted the truth, didn't you? Now I'm bigger than you, so you're gonna stand here and get it all, so you might as well quit wiggling. There's two things you're entitled to know. One, you're a wonderful kid. I thought so from the start. That's why I wanted you in the band, just so you'd quit moping around feeling sorry for yourself.
What band?
I always think there's a band, kid.
What's the other thing I'm entitled to know?
Well, actually, now that I think of it, the other thing doesn't really have anything to do with you now, does it?
I wish you'd never come to River City.
No, you don't, Winthrop.
Sister, you believe him?
I believe everything he ever said. The way every kid in this town walked around here all summer. Especially you. And the parents, too. Do you think Mama wishes he'd never come to River City?
Well, you do, don't you?
No, Winthrop. No, go, Harold, please.
Go on, Professor, hurry up.
I can't go, Winthrop,
Why not?
because for the first time in my life, I got my foot caught in the door.
Frank! Frank, they're here! That way!
Go on, Professor, that way!
Virtue has triumphed. The sword of retribution has cut down on Professor Harold Hill. And if there are those who are melting tar and collecting feathers, I will not say them nay.
Well, I should think there ought to be some of you who could forget our everlasting, Iowa stubborn, chip-on-the-shoulder arrogance long enough to remember River City before Harold Hill arrived. Do you remember? Well, do you? Surely some of you ought to be grateful for what he's brought to River City. And if so, I should think you'd want to admit it.
You're wasting a great deal of time here. If there's one person in this entire hall who doesn't think this man Hill should be tarred and feathered, please step forward. You lately step back. Have you people forgotten how you got technical instruction books, high-priced uniforms, and expensive band instruments? Have you forgotten the clear understanding and warranty that your child will be taught to play in a band? Well, where's the band? Where's the band, Harold?
Think, men. Think.